Sktv-Lib. C'est ma chérie, tina ke ase ma yamo. Engi sano muni, emu aye yo. Engi lofa mui, emu aye yo.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grand bazaar.
Ena Guinea ya tumale, ena Sadia ya tumale, ena Conakry ya tumale, ena Cote d'Ivoire ya tumale, ena Guinea ya tumale, ena Sadia ya tumale, ena Conakry ya tumale, ena Cote d'Ivoire ya tumale, ena Nigeria ya tumale, Sktv, ena Nigeria, tosi wako ma ya tumale.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grand bazaar.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talking about podcasts and connecting people and culture from here and out of the globe. Qualified people who waiting to serve. The flesh, the time, and the efforts are rare. The broadcast we giving are real and I promise my best to work with my life without fear. From Grandfather Nima to Lufa, from River Sass, River G to Chide, from Penku, Bombay, Cape Mount, Montserrat, San to Bakulu, from Maryland, Bonkan to the Mikey B. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa.
On projects that firstly were frozen. Now we've the American ambassador visited us last week Tuesday to give us updated information. That I think we gave you a list of projects that have been gutted, meaning cancelled. I think they have 7 thus far. And another 3 as we speak. Minister Zoe is sharing with me a text, a message that 3 more projects are being added as we speak. 51 million to be cancelled. So more projects are being cancelled. Things are fast evolving. The projects that are on this list, the previous list that was given to me by the ambassador, include the architecture, engineering, construction, oversight services for watch and health infrastructure, about 2.9 million. Community-led monitoring, this is 185,000. I think this was mainly passing through an NGO. So, data evaluation, learning, and technical assistance data, about 19 million. I think one of these projects, they would have helped us at the Ministerial Finance to improve our monitoring evaluation of the arrest agenda. And then a project for education system strengthening in an amount of 23.4 million. Folks from the Ministry of Education can give you details on that. Elections and democracy, 15.9 million. Local empowerment for accountability and decentralization, LEAD. This is the project that Elon Musk texted about, the 17.9 million project. This project is helping us, or was helping us, in domestic resource mobilization. The Liberia Revenue Authority was the key beneficiary here. We are migrating to a new tax regime that has been approved by the Honorable Legislature, from the Goods and Services Tax, the GST, to the Value-Added Tax, the VAT. It comes with training. It comes with investment in systems. USAID was the main partner supporting. In fact, we're about to conclude a new domestic resource mobilization strategy for the next 5 years. By the end of this month, we'll be done with that, completed. The review has been completed for cabinet approval. USAID was the lead partner supporting the Liberia Revenue Authority, even though we have a tax system called e-tax, Integrated Tax Administration System. It's the main tax database that needed some technical improvement or investment targeted for that. This project was also to help us in domestic revenue or collection in counties, mapping up areas. We have the Decentralization Act and obligation. How do you devolve resources to the counties? There are one or two technical things that are happening. So this project was not just for tax advice that came out. I mean, yes, it's advice, but investment in training, in system. But as we talked about in the DG, or the Commissioner General of the NRA, continues to talk about the $1 billion target for domestic revenue. Investments and resources here were assisting us to build our capacity to meeting those targets. Although government is investing too, other partners are investing, but USAID was the major partner here. So, and then you have a project for Liberia domestic election observation, 1.4, at many local NGOs, election NGOs were being supported. USAID supports a lot of international and local NGOs.
Well, we sincerely apologize maybe for any kind of sound at the back. But folks, what a way to say the pleasant good evening. 6 minutes past 6 is 6 minutes down 6. That's the time check from what I said and broadcast on the fateful Tuesday evening, the 25th of February, and the second month. For a matter of fact, we in a moment or a few days from now will be entering the third month in the year 2025. So we have roughly about 3 more days, right, to go and be saying bye-bye to February, because February will come to an end on Friday. Yes, indeed. So good evening, and please, let's share the show. Yeah, those of you who just joining us, or if you've been with us for a little while now, please, let's share the show. Let's share the show. One of the best things to do is for you to like, comment, and share. At least, we part of so many groups, and just click share. At least that would be okay for other people who want to watch, or also who want to be part of the entire show, but maybe sometime they don't easily get the alert, or maybe they don't get access to the show. So again, what a way to say the pleasant good evening. And I'm Johnson Bankula. I want to say the pleasant good evening to those of you who are also listening to us via the radio. Today is Tuesday. So many things we'll be talking about, but our major talking point today will be about the bread and butter that we started on yesterday evening. Yes, indeed, yesterday we started with the entire USAID Wahala, the bread and butter issue, what's going to happen next, and so forth, and the waste in government. All of the things that are happening right now, our officials, they don't even care. Look, this country indeed interesting. A little bit, let me be frank. But again, let me recognize few of you. Yes, indeed. Let me say thanks to all of you. Please just give us a thumb up. Yeah, you know, when you share, you like a comment, or even just say hi to us. Yes. Mustafa Balo, let me say good evening. Say watching from GMB Lawless Control. Ali Donso, say hi SKTV. Thank you, Ali Donso. My sister Elizabeth Bowen, indeed, let me say good evening to you, Elizabeth, and my good friend and brother Edward Berkshire, right? Indeed, let me say good evening to you, Edward. He said this is a total waste of time and life of our people. It is so sad that someone like him will come sit down here and continue to lie. That is the message coming from Edward Berkshire. Uh, King Ashford, right? Indeed, my brother. Long time though, I don't know, but anyway, good evening to you, King Ashford, right? Who there's James David. Yes, indeed, Monk already setting up. Monk will be joining us very, very soon. James David, also let me say good evening to you. Sifas, also let me say good evening to you. Jackson Jane, let me say good evening to you. And Brizana Monk also already there and already prepared. Very soon, Monk will be joining us. Steve will also join us today. Mr. Kane will also join us. Mona and that Lawrence, they are setting up behind the scene. They'll be joining us also. You know, we get long time to talk about it, bread and butter. You know, because of so many political party and pulling, especially what happening to our people there at the lower house. You know, these things are all distractions. You know, whenever Steve come and say some of these things, even necessary for even talk about some of these things. Yes, because some of these things just eat up our time, make our people to be looking like they don't even know what they voted for, and so on. Because for me, if you ask me about the kind of branch of government or even the other legislature, I think even the rubber stamp were far better. They want to, I think, yeah, I'm still looking for a name for them because the previous one used to be called rubber stamp. But this one, I don't even know what they even stamp. No, this country interesting. Okay, so I think Monk is ready. Yeah, Monk. Yeah, my brother, good evening. And what say you? What's up? What going on?
Not much. Thank God to be alive. We got a better weather in the Twin Cities. We're going to be heating up for the next week. Starting yesterday, at least we are in the high 30s and the low 40s. That's great for Minneapolis, being the coolest region in the country. We take that. We appreciate that. And but other than that, thank God for life. Great to be here. And once again, another day to do our work on SKTV. Yep.
Wonderful, my brother. Thank you for joining us. Always making sure that at least you bring out some of these things that our people need to know or hear about. And I was talking about the previous legislature or from the lower house, they used to be called rubber stamp. But there's one among, if you were to call some kind of name, because at this stamps I can be better, right?
They want a printing press. There's automated printing because rubber stamp is kind of analog. It's old school. It's outdated. This other legislation you got. There's a complete printing press, like 3D graphic printing press. Yeah. Mm.
So that's it. So Monk already gave us name. They are now called printing press because everything they do. But Monk, why you decide to call that printing press? Why? No, give me
You
your
know,
own interpretation of that entire printing press.
there's a difference between an analog and a digital. Analog is the old
Mhm.
system. You have to do something manually, but digital means you can. It almost like you got a bumper assembly line where you can do things in mass production, where you can do it automatically using some software and technology. That's how these guys are. Because there is no expectation. I told you there is no political price to pay. The time limit is very, very long. There is no pressure on them for them to deliver. So you cannot expect to get anything better when the condition that was set in place is not even requiring anything of them. So why do you expect, Milton? Why do you think they get lawmaker in America under 24 months? The moment you enter office, you got to start working on project. You got to start delivering. Your failure to deliver means you will be out in no time. That's why they give you 2 years. 2 years. President 4. The only reason they get a senator 6 years in this country, because when you are senator, you represent every single congressional district within the state. So it won't make any sense to be having election every 2 years for senator. So they give them at least 6 years because they control. Like take for example, or like state of Minnesota, we got 10 congressional districts in the state. So when you're the senator for Minnesota, the senior and junior senator, you guys got up to 6 years. That's the most. But for the president, lawmaker, representative, 2 years. That's it. You only control a district, nothing more than that.
Wonderful. Thank you. No wonder why you are saying that these people, they are no longer rubber stamp because they were no, the country interesting for rubber stamp to work on it. But anyway, maybe the professor will get his own name because he's someone that always looking for finding out all sort of names for our people. So, my brother, good evening, Steve, and welcome. Everything. What say you? Today is Tuesday.
Yeah, Melbourne, it's good to be on. To the viewers and the listeners, good afternoon. Those of you in Liberia, in other parts of the world, my greetings to you. As always, the Liberian women are the most beautiful women on earth, and Liberian people are the most important people on earth. That's why we are here. Melbourne, I just joined you. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on in terms of conversation, but I know there's a lot going on in the country. So I wouldn't be able to, speak to the conversation as Monk spoke, because like I said, I'd like to be fair. I wasn't following when you came on. I just logged on right now, so I didn't even know we solved the conversation, how far you guys have gone to react or to say anything else. So I will.
Yeah.
So
we just
when we start the show here, we're just making
thank you.
So you came on time.
Yeah. So we're just asking about the current legislature or the lawmakers from the lower house. Mind you, the previous one used to be called the rubber stamp. So they're asking Monk, and Monk said they are no longer rubber stamp, but they are now printing price. So I said, okay, but then let's ask Steve also about his name. Maybe you have a name for them. So what say you?
Well, there are a lot of titles, names, or descriptive adjectives that we could use on the current legislature. And we can also go back to the past, because some of them who were key players in the past are still there. That includes Thomas Fala, even the Richard Kuhn, Jason Sibo, Fanatikofa. Those are all guys that have been around for a minute. You would think that people who've been around, Yeke Koluba, would come with some sense of the reason when you still on a job, they call you senior or you up there or whatever it is, you would bring your experience to help the younger ones or whatever it is. But it seems as though they've incorporated, included, and recruited some of the younger people who came on, or the newer representative who just joined them, to do what is wrong. Like, for example, James Colette on Armed Forces Day. You go and illegally open the speaker door, like burglarizing a speaker office on camera. I mean, you're not even doing any dark to say, oh, you were not tied to him. Did it live on, live screen and so forth. So that's troubling. But for me, instead of using, one adjective, I'll just sum everything up and say, they're doing some very disgraceful things. Very embarrassing. To be honest, I'm very embarrassed by what they're doing. And I don't know what else to say. This is disgraceful. This is shameful, because you can say the judicial branch of government represents the law of the country. You can say the executive, is like the head of the government or the head of the country or whatever it is. Great. But the House of Representatives or the Senate, they directly represent the people. They are the people's representation. So is this the image we want to send to the rest of the world? That our sitting representative can go and burglarize or vandalize someone's office? Richard Kuhn, purported speaker or quote-unquote speaker, I saw something written in the morning, instead of reserved for speaker, they wrote reserved speaker. So, I mean, to be honest, so we got a reserved speaker now in the country. Is Richard Kuhn a reserved speaker? He's not regime speaker. So, every week he keep changing a title, or they keep changing a title or whatever it is. So these things are very embarrassing. They're shameful. And listen, whether you like it or not, Melbourne, in 2025, a few days ago, I was watching I was listening to Charles Taylor, former President Charles Taylor, talking about the killing of President Tolbert in his court proceedings or his trial, and how he called, I think he knew 2 young men that shot or killed President Tolbert, the first guy that did the first shooting, whatever it is. You know, I was listening to it, and it came down to Kuyokba and Doe and whatever it is. Listen to the name that misbehaving, Richard Coon. Listen to the name that acting up. You know, check the House of Representatives. You can't find the Congo people there anymore. That the country people cheering. They are the ones misbehaving. Their own country, you gave it to them. Their own country you gave to them. They are just outlaw, misbehaving. Nothing straight is going on. They were saying, like, bro, no hey, no tay. You know, you wake up in the morning, it's just every day some kind of negative news. You don't even want to be negative with the government. Sometimes you just want to chill and see if you can have a regular day. But St. Joseph Boaga took over just from one drama to another, from one noise to another. It's tiring. It's embarrassing. It is embarrassing. No, let me not lie to you. And this picture, whether we like it or not, coming from the House of Representatives, it shows that this is who we are. Let me tell you today. It shows that this is who we are. Yeah, the guy who did the shooting, thank you, Alfred Dennis, Richard,
yeah. Nelson Toe and Harrison Pennell.
Yeah, Harrison Pennell, who allegedly was killed by Prince Johnson when the same day of Doe or whatever it is. And guess the Harrison Pennell man named who it ties to too, of one of the corrupt, inconsistent person. He comes from Grand Gila County. Zoe Pennell, who sat on the network and talked a bunch of foolishness that had the people in Grand Gila, quote unquote, they appear in here dreaming. What kind of foolishness? You know, so my man, to be honest,
yeah, so
I'm a Liberian, but to be honest with you, I feel very ashamed of how these people are representing or the images.
So you don't want to call them honorable, you don't want to add any value.
Oh, no, I told you from day one, I don't call people who are corrupt, people who are in dubious things. I don't throw the name honorable out there easily, my man. No, I don't. Let me tell you the truth. I don't just throw titles. No. You have to earn it. You have to see consistency. Anybody won't call you honorable, that's fine. I will call you by your name. I will call James Colette. I will call Musa Hassan Bilete. I will say, you know, or he title from a political standpoint, Chairman Bilete or whatever it is. You know, when you do the honorable thing, I'll call you honorable. I don't mind calling people honorable, but to just wake up and just call people who are acting out of law and out of the way, call them honorable, I don't do that. Sorry, but that's not my cup of tea.
Well, thank you. We don't want to eat most of our people time today because we really want to go in deep or maybe into all of the time with the entire UCA stuff, bread and butter issue and so forth, because this thing been on our docket for a little time, and people are also requesting that Tough Talking Steve Monk and Mr. Cannon, you all need to talk about the issue all of the time, the UCA business and so forth. And I think we can just start up so that our people, some people who are already following us, so that they can go in deep. But if you people have any other thing, maybe in passing, that you want to talk about quickly, well, you can do, so that we can.
Well, I just want to add up to what Steve said. That's why all the time I say, in anything in life, in any endeavor, you need philosophy and you need history. Yep. If I was in leadership, philosophy and history will be the foundational course for every learning institution, because history will teach you a lesson of the past. It will guide you, and philosophy will be like your moral compass that will tell you how to make decisions. You see, the situation Steve just gave, and that's what happened in our country. That's why some of us, we believe in a merit-based system. I don't play identity politics. I don't believe in any crap about DEI, because let me tell you something. If you want to play identity politics, look at our country, for example, Liberia. You claim that one people were criminal. Oh, a native woman, born Sawyer, Congo woman, born Ro. It has been 44 years since you topple the so-called ruling class. The country only keep getting worse. Every single decade is in a regressive mode. Now, if you take a step back and you want to be fair, you can call them corrupt all they want, but the country was better. People look towards Liberia at a certain point in history. Liberia was like the melting pot that from people from Sierra Leone, Burkina Faso, they used to come to Liberia for better living. Okay, if you call these people criminal, you took them out of power. Look at the way how the country is. Just look at the streets alone in Monrovia. How dirty that city is. It's been 40 some more years. Look at the kind of lawmakers now we are bringing to power, the people who we are giving the mantra to lead the society. Look at how they are operating. So if you are to ask me, do you think I care whether a Congo man is in power or native man is in power? No. I'm looking at your qualification, what you bring to the table. I could care less about your background. But exactly, that's why we keep talking. The reason we don't do well because we're not nationalists. Everything in Liberia is on a sectarian and on a tribal level. We even talked about this yesterday. That exactly what you see happen in the country. How can you keep making mistakes for 44 years?
Yeah.
Is that a mistake, maybe? It just means, the late Nangwe Slow said something on Team Show. I never forgot that interview. It was just like a soundbite because the interview started and I came later. Nangwe Slow. Oh, Lahuda.
Go ahead. I put it on mute. Go ahead.
Nangwe Slow, let me tell you something, Mabel. Nangwe Slow made a shocking revelation on the Team Show at one point in time. You know the confession he made? He said after 40 some more years, and he was one of those that were part of the progressive, he said the native people were never ready to rule Liberia. They were not prepared to take over the mantra of that country. And history can bear witness because it had been 44 years or 45 years now since 1980. Now, compare Liberia during 1980 and the last 40 years. What can you say? The verdict is in. There's no argument. Nobody can make any sense of it. Whether you want to deny it or not, the native people were never ready to govern that country. That's why it just been chaos after chaos, and it keep getting worse. One administration after another until we get to this stage. So I don't know. One guy said maybe we need to bring the Congo people back because at least when they were there, the country has an identity.
No, before we even get into the conversation for today, this is an important part of the conversation because it all ties into the whole American, Liberian, and aid and all the thing, right? And so it ties into it correctly. But let me expand on what Monk said here that I think is critically important. For me, I have no qualms with native or whatever it is, right? Because at the end of the day, like Monk said, identity politics has nothing to do with effectiveness, efficiency, or being able to deliver. Let's be very honest. You can have someone who comes from a different part of the world, who is different, who does not speak your language, but has a transformative, progressive mindset that will change your country. You can have your own people who will be there to steal from you, exploit you, and so forth, right? My thing is, it shows over the last 40 years our inability to even prepare for the future. And this is where the problem is. Let me tell you this, Melbourne. The cuts from UC and other things, we will delve into and talk about it more detail. One of the greatest, two of the most challenging things I see in Liberia now, that will be a problem for us for decades, maybe some of us will be long gone. That will be a serious challenge. There are two things. The drugs situation in Liberia, it will be a serious pandemic, but here is something that's critically important. The human capacity building is the most troubling thing in our country. And I can say this, last night I was watching on Facebook, I was laughing because CRC, that his song that he launched,
Which one?
I saw a Chinese guy, congratulations. I saw a Chinese guy singing that song. And I saw people, I listened to the guy, and I saw people laughing, people joking around. Some people, look at his butt, look at his face, look how he's looking. They were not paying attention to the fact that gradually, other people are coming from other places and taking over your country. Let me say it to you again so you can hear. Because you are not preparing yourselves. You are not preparing the next generation. You dare exploiting, stealing from the next generation, not empowering them educationally, not preparing them to face the challenges. And that is the same thing that happened after Doe then took over. When they took over, guess what they did? They went back into the same tribalism. The country people that started chasing each other. Doe chasing Kuyonpa chasing Doe, Charles Taylor, Prince Johnson. It just went in the same little cycle. And in our communities, one thing I've noticed, we gang up together to go after someone. The same thing we saw. United Party people that were told it before the election. You cannot remove George Weah. You cannot go against George Weah only because you don't like him or only because you want to come to power. There has to be a plan. There has to be a strategy to fix the mess that he's doing. That's why we encourage them that you can replace George Weah with Joseph Boakai because they're the same of the two. Now here we are today. There is nothing being done to prepare the young people. When you talk, they make mistakes. They call you militants. They call the young people militant. And young people then someone into it. Instead of going to school, the US student, they're passing around with ball bag on their back. They're reactionary. They're militants. They're bouncing around. Why do people then got their children out of the country? Let me tell you, Delon, his son in Minnesota, chilling. Normally, or children, graduate from college, university. They're chilling. They're coming to America. They're going to good schools. They're preparing. These are facts. Most of the men in our country, most of the lawmakers, their children are out of the country. And guess what they are doing? They're learning, they're preparing themselves. I'll be saying that and they'll be meditating, jumping around. But maybe I'll give back to you.
Yeah, so thank you. Let me just add up quickly, then welcome Sheku Krumah. Very long time though, but to you and Monk, I think you're near it. And Monk said something that we have to take into serious consideration. I think for me, if it will be blame shifting of who do this and who do that, that means we'll not be going anywhere. Let me be frank. They both, or in fact, the both parties, what is, I mean, I'm not to even talk about with tribe and so forth, but all of them, I think they are all waste of Liberia time, because if you go back into almost 100 plus years, some of the people that were around ruining the country back to back through the True We Party. Today, where are we today? We are nowhere. But again, we have to be going back and forth with the Congo native and all the things that you said not too long, that indeed the only thing that we should be focusing on is about capacity building, building the life of the young people, building the life of the future leaders who come up and who not come up. Well, that's great. That's the only thing that we can do and talk about. But again, Sheku, let me say good evening, my brother. Long time. Have a friend.
I'm okay by the special grace of God. Are you hearing me clear?
Yeah, but just a song on the phone at the back there trying to disturb us. I don't know.
Yeah, they're trying to get the phone off quickly.
Yes.
Steve, are you coming on? Brazilian mug? Yeah, hello there.
Yeah, man.
Welcome back. It's been a while.
Yeah, Muna is not here today. She went to Tow Town. And last night we received Ma Miata, Miata Stella Harry. She's in Zuedru. So yeah, she just want to say hello to you. She's sitting right in the studio here. Ma Miata, please just press that button on the microphone there. There's a button right on the microphone. Oh, no, down there. Yeah. Okay, good. So let me just bring her on the screen.
Yeah.
So she can say hello to you.
Actually, when we're playing with your show,
When I appear in different places where I get ready. Well, you see me in Maria, next thing you see me in Zwedru. It is. We're here in the course of the people. You're hello.
What's up?
I saw you with it. I saw you with those kids reading a book the last time. I said, yeah, my own mission. Yeah, that was great. We applaud your efforts.
Yes. Steve, welcome back. It's good to have you. I've been listening while I was traveling and listening to you just now. Monk, good job. Seku, thank you. And Mabon, I stay waiting for you to come to the hall. You bring my grandchild here and I leave you in your own grandchildren now. So when I come back to Florida, I expect you to bring my granddaughter. You don't want me to go to America and carry by report. So please.
No, don't worry. When you come, it's just that they make impasse. I will confuse me, but when you come, you see, don't worry.
Steve, what you were talking about is so important because I drove to come here yesterday and I'm going to fly to go back on Thursday. And the things that I saw, I was also in Monrovia when they were exhuming artists. The amount of young people that stood around, Steve, to watch that dig up happen, their curiosity, the questions that they had, what they wanted to know, Sometimes we overlook our children. We think that they don't want to. But I found out that they're so eager and willing to learn. There are things that they don't know, they're curious about, and they want answers to. I was riding yesterday. I stopped at the carport because I couldn't find car. Everybody too busy. Own car couldn't come all the way to Grand Jide. So I was determined to come here. I went to the carport in Red Lake and found a car to bring me to Grand Jide. At that carport, if Steve Monk, you have seen our children hustling and bustling to load car. These are the future generation of Liberians. And it was so sad. And while I was in the car driving, somebody sent me Nyomli Konga's salary and the amount of money that she gets. And I was sitting in that car saying to myself, 250 something thousand. If you were paying one person $100 and you took it and divided by her salary, that would be 250 something people that would be higher at the salary of $100 a month. To think about the amount of money for gas, for food for her to eat, to go to her own people, it's just absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And the children, yeah, it is so sad. These are the future. What future do they have? You're absolutely right. I mean, Steve, when all of these people children in Paris and in America learning, so after they're done stealing, then the children will come to take over and continue the stealing. Is that what Liberia wants? Is that what we want? I was thinking today, the soup party that stay up to threaten because they want to add and drop. I asked Steve, I said, what do you want? What do you mean by add and drop? I was told by the student, a patient, she said that during registration time, they put on their computer the buttons to add and to drop subject. The student don't pay attention to it. They stay busy muya muya. When the time period has elapsed for that add and drop, they remove the button so that it's no longer available for them. That's what their contention are. They think that's supposed to be there forever. Anytime they want to add, they can add, and anytime they want to drop, they can drop. No explaining to them how the system works, what they are supposed to do. Today, I was on Top Morning Show earlier this morning, and the guest was a professor from the University of Liberia, excellent in the School of Communication. And she came on and she explained to the public what is a PR, what do they do, what their responsibility, their roles are. And she was excellent in her presentation. I wish that you would invite her on a bigger platform like Sktv so that she can explain these things to our people, because it's there, but we're not being given the chance. So it is so important that we pay attention. We got to keep on these people back. This is not a joke.
Okay, maybe that's it. I mean, Grand Jide is
yes,
okay.
so,
That's all I can say.
yes, thank you. Yes, thank you for hosting one of our own. Thank you so much, Sheku, and that just so magnificent. I don't know how long she's going to be there for, but as we go along with the show, if you also want to chip in on some of the things that we'll be discussing here, well, the opportunity is there. So yes, Steve Monk, we're back after listening to one of our own. She in the she was at the Leeward County, Sheku. Yes. So
Yeah,
yes.
she's
So
in one of the southeastern counties of that's
okay.
Grand Jide County. Yeah.
All right. Good. Yes. So Steve. Yeah. So we'll move back to our topic today. We'll be looking at the entire UCA and the Liberia budget. Mind you, I think when Kia is not taking, we don't know what's going to happen next. But instead of our leaders putting their heads together, they are still fighting why the livelihood of our people. So we've got to be educating our people. So yes. So the UCA Wahala. the 50 million, according to the finance minister, all these things that will be cut, but I want you and Mark to a little bit elaborate on some of these things first, then we will be able now to come up. And yes, but the budget, I think, has been approved. I think it's in a tune of 800 plus million, and out of that 800 plus million, 773.95 as a recurrent cost to be used. But among that money, out of the 800 plus, 106.72 will be there for development. I mean, 106 million, 0.72 will be there for development. But with the news, and I know that some of the money will be cut off from the development or from the development fund. But let's move on, my brother. You and others, Mark, you can take over.
Milborn, have we played that video with I don't know how long is it with the, because the with the finance minister, because that will put in perspective some of the things. I don't know if we've done that, but I don't know. I don't think it's long.
Yeah, so let me play maybe for the second time. It's 5 minutes. I don't know if you people want to. Yeah, cool.
On projects that firstly were frozen. Now we've the American ambassador visited us last week Tuesday to give us updated information. That I think we gave you a list of projects that have been gutted, meaning canceled. I think there are about 7 thus far, and another 3 as we speak. Minister Zoe is sharing with me a text, a message that 3 more projects have been added as we speak. 51 million to be cancelled. So more projects are being cancelled. Things are fast evolving. The projects that are on this list, the previous list that was given to me by the ambassador, include the architecture, engineering, construction, oversight services for watch and health infrastructure, about 2.9 million. Community-led monitoring, this is 185,000. I think this was mainly passing through an NGO. So data evaluation, learning and technical assistance data, about 19 million. I think one of these projects, they would have helped us at the Ministry of Finance to improve our monitoring and evaluation of the arrest agenda. And then a project for education system strengthening in an amount of 23.4 million. Folks from the Ministry of Education can give you details on that. Elections and democracy, 15.9 million. Local empowerment for accountability and decentralization, LEAD. This is the project that Elon Musk texted about. The 17.9 million project. This project is helping us, or was helping us, in domestic resource mobilization. The Liberia Revenue Authority was the key beneficiary here. We are migrating to a new tax regime that has been approved by the Honorable Legislature, from the goods and services tax, the GST, to the value-added tax, the VAT. It comes with training. It comes with investment in systems. USAID was the main partner supporting. In fact, we're about to conclude a new domestic resource mobilization strategy for the next 5 years. I think by the end of this month, we'll be done with that, completed. The review has been completed for cabinet approval. USAID was the lead partner supporting the Liberia Revenue Authority, even though we have a tax system called e-tax, Integrated Tax Administration System. It's the main tax database that needed some technical improvement or investment targeted for that. This project was also to help us in domestic revenue or collection in counties, mapping up areas. You know, we have the Decentralization Act and obligation. How do you devolve resources to the counties? There are one or two technical things that are happening. So this project was not just for tax advice that came out. I mean, yes, it's advice, but investment in training, in system. But as we talked about in the DG or the Commissioner General of the NRA continues to talk about the $1 billion target for domestic revenue. Investments and resources here were assisting us to build our capacity to meeting those targets. Although government is investing too, other partners are investing, but USAID was the major partner here. So, and then, yes, and then you have a project for Liberia domestic election observation, 1.4, like many local NGOs, election NGOs were being supported. USAID supports a lot of international and local NGOs. I've gotten information.
Sorry, I'm muted. Yeah, so that's it from the, yes.
Mr. Monk, while Monk reacting, anybody got a quick video clip from the order for the last July 26? You remember what her name? I know Pele or whatever her name.
Madam Pe, I know Pele.
Raptor Pele.
Raptor Pele. You remember her? Anybody got a quick snippet of the video? And Joseph Boakai and the lawmaker and all of them were saying that clapping when she was talking foolishness with confidence in public, when she was lying. DeLong Youngblood and brought her to kind of make her the orator for the July 26th, and she came and attacked the United States, wherein the charge d'affaires had to walk out that day and all of that. And we reminded y'all that there will be consequences for those things, because serious-minded people don't forget when you do foolishness, they pay you back. It just takes time and do it in a strategic way, in a way to not kind of make it look like they're punishing you. But they do have remedies. They will punish you for it. So we reminded you on that. Anybody got that video? Melbourne, you got that video together? So we can listen to Madam Pele or Pecha, whatever her name is.
But let me talking when I get it, then I will play it. I'm not
disrespecting her. The reason I'm saying she's a hypocrite. If she loved Liberia so much, she wanted to be patriotic, why she not in Liberia? And she's not in Europe. She working for the same white people. She not a serious minded woman. I don't take her seriously. I don't. She's a hypocrite. She's saying I ain't well man who kind of Liberia talk foolishness. Oh, guess what? You can rest assured that because she's not important, that's why we never brought her history in America here. What she did, the reason she talking to America, the way she was talking, she mad. But she's not important. She's of no important. So that's why we never wanted to give her that time or whatever. But when she was talking that foolishness and the lies she was spewing out, y'all are clapping. Some of you United Party people, y'all work on the next day, y'all say America not doing anything for your sovereign nation. Oh, let me remind you quickly before we even go further. Let me remind you before we even go further. Let me remind you. I can remember when Eugene Fagon, the LBS director, LBS will never be the same. They were in China, and all of them talking about how China is going to get a $3 billion, and they talk bunch of foolishness. And we told y'all that this is not how you operate. This is not how you do diplomatic work. And you don't do foreign policy issues like this. We reminded y'all that part of the problem Doha, part of the problem Towaha, part of the problem other presidents had was this foreign policy shift automatically. It doesn't work that way. Y'all say America ain't doing nothing for us. America, you know, America stealing from us. They have never done anything. They're not doing anything for us. Okay. Monk, what say you? Because we'll react to that video pertaining to USAID thing. What will break whatever that guy said and what it means and how it will impact the common people. Monk, what say you?
So quickly before more come on, I think I have the 1 minute something I'm seeing here. I think
please play off.
So,
That was there.
United States in our transitional justice. I remain very concerned about the outsized influence of the United States in our transitional justice process. We must forge new strategic partnerships based on mutual benefit and disabuse ourselves of the notion that we have a special relationship with America. Truth be told, this special relationship only exists in our imagination. Lest we forget, the United States was one of the last countries to recognize our independence. Lest we forget, the United States has taken more from us than it has given. Lest we forget, the United States will always serve its own interests above all else. Once we accept these truths, we will appreciate that a reimagined Liberia is nobody's stepchild. Reimagined Liberia is not only free from colonial relations of power, it is also free from colonial artifacts that cripple us. In this vein, I would like to renew previous calls to adopt national symbols that represent the cultural breadth and historical depth of our shared experiences. I urge us to forge a new political identity by reimagining and revising these symbols. Why is the national motto on our seal not "The love of liberty united us"?
Okay, well, no more like among that ADL. And they were yelling, yeah, someone were even clapping.
Well, if that I mean, her speech is up to the administration. That's why they are the one in power. They will chart the course when it comes to foreign relations as to where they want to take the country, whether they want to. I think the finance minister even re-echoed that by saying that they will expand their outreach to other countries because they got to make up. You know, the thing that got me confused about the whole USAID thing, the entire government now is in the uproar just for 50 million. What happened to Liberia? The day the diaspora called the plug off because the USAID money is not even within the ballpark of what the diaspora contribute to Liberia. So I don't know. Maybe they will say we kowtow into the US too. So the day the diaspora ought to say, or the people who send remittances to Liberia to say, you know what, enough is enough. Then I think the country will collapse in 72 hours. And that's why I keep saying it on the show that the people in the diaspora carries more power than they did in thing. And you see what happened. The reason we talked about the topic yesterday because of a committee in the Senate led by Sir Joseph and Amara Conan. They want to start doing investigation about aid money or spending entities. So my question was like, since when you got came to the realization? Somebody telling you are giving you aid, they are contributing $17 million per year to help you to take the thing from the goods and service tax to the VAT, the value added tax system, which is almost like a sales tax. The question is, we don't care about the aid. We don't care about all the programs that contribute to. The question is, what is the impact and the return on investment? That's why you put money into a project. You cannot. Somebody telling you they contributed 17 million every year for tax consultancy, but when you go do your research, you cannot even account for 3 million. Is that what you call investment? No. So my question to our lawmaker is, since when you came to the realization that as lawmaker, you should have been doing your background check to know where all these so-called aids, whether they are grant, whether they are loan, where they've been going. You cannot give account of it. Now you want to make adjustment, you want to recap the whole national budget. The question is, Sir Joseph talking about going back from 2018 to 2025. If the USAID were giving you consultancy to increase your your revenue generating or mechanism and improving your tax system, the last time I checked, every budget had to be recast in Liberia. Every time there is a budget shortfall. So tell me, my brother, with all this investment, tell me the return. Tell me what are we benefiting? And matter of fact, if we are even receiving this money, because I know there are people who would say, okay, here and there we work on the project, but the question is, how many of you over there can point to the fact that here is the return on investment for $17 million? Or what happened to the rest of the amount? So because we're not getting the value, we're getting budget recap, we're getting budget short for everything. Everything got to come by and record the budget and make cuts across the board. So tell me the impact and the value. And the one thing that I know about throughout history, the one thing that I know that it's a consistent fact, the number one leading cause, if not the only cause, the reason why every empire in history fails is because of debt. The more you go into debt, the more poverty leads, and the more instability leads to the decline of empire. That's how empire crumbles, from debt. That's why when you look at the leg of Sankara and all the great African leaders, their number one message was, we need to put an end to the debt, because debt is a form of slavery. And that's why some of us keep advocating for this. It's not about politics. It's not about whether you're conservative, whether you're liberal, or whether you are from CDC or Unity Party. The question is, when you make an investment, the reason you make an investment is to get a return and to make positive impact. When nobody puts money into a leaking bucket. I cannot keep giving you money years after year, generation after generation, century after century, and you cannot tell me what you've been doing with this kind of amount. When you go to a library, you go do research, you're seeing the loan, 4 billion, 6 billion. You look at the country, you're like, are you telling me this country that I'm looking at with no infrastructure, with everything dilapidated, how can you make the case that in the 80s, from 1983 to 1990, that you spend $4 billion in this country? Just do the adjustments for inflation, looking at 1980 money compared to 2025. You are telling me you invested $4 billion in this country, and I can't even see a single infrastructure to boast of anywhere in the world? That's why the problem is, and that's why we decided to talk on the topic today, and for our people to get some insight about the whole USAID thing. And it just means that our government was caught off guard, because when you look across the board in Africa, I can't see too many countries that is crying because they were doing the things that they need to be doing as a government. They are making the investment, they are paying into the future. So you think Africa or Ghana or Guinea going to cry about USAID? No, because the war aid means someone is only helping you. They got their own domestic or system in place that they are helping the people, that they are paying them for future generation. They are making investment to the future. So it only means like it gets an added boost. Sure. Steve got his own money, he do his own thing. If I say, Steve, I'm going to contribute to your cause, okay, my man, I appreciate it. Just an added boost. Steve is not 100% depending on aid to make his country move forward. And that's why Labrador will cut off guard. That's why we pay the price and we feed it for a very, very long time, because I know there will be more cuts coming. That's what I know for sure.
Well, with that, just that conversation, we'll get into it when we get back from it. But here's something I wanted people to go with while we go to the news break here, because I know Milburn setting up in the back here for the news break. Right after the news break, we'll get back to the conversation. But there's something I want you to think about. Here's something I want you to think about. First thing we had to establish is Liberia was built and not colonized by America. Liberia actually came into being by the ACS, the American Colonization Society. That was more like the equivalent of a non-profit organization. So we came through a banking organization, a social non-profit organization that brought us to power as a nation. However, we have not migrated from that mindset. That's why we depend on aids. We like handouts, to the point that even people in America here, Melbourne, I'm telling you today, there are some people in America here that refuse to go work. They are able-bodied men and women, nothing happened to them. They're waiting on government food stamps, because everything in their head, when they're giving them food stamps, a free thing, but they don't know the criteria and the thing around the food stamp thing. It restricts you. It keeps you in a box. That means you got to make a certain amount of money. Some people live in low-income homes. So that means they're restricted to certain job they can do and so forth, right? They can make a certain money. That in itself is the mentality, is the mindset got to be changed. So in Liberia, everything they got to look up to you. And the interesting part about it, when they finish looking up to you, when you say nothing, instead of them utilizing it to advance themselves and move their life forward, they don't do it. Guess what they do? You send somebody $100 to them, they go and spend $50 on the liquor. They're keeping the other $50 for the weekend to go and ball. In less than 1 week, they blow out the $100. Then they go buy and sit down to where they were. That slow mentality, that's some of the things that have kept us. But to even bring it to the government, Your government put up a budget of $800 million or $700 million. Somebody take out $51 million. Then you vet. Then you're jittering, you're checking, the government can move forward. I don't understand. And that's what we're going to look into when we get back. You get a budget of $800 million. Somebody say, okay, that $800 million, get what we'll do. We're not able to get $50 million of it. And you still left with 75. Why should you be bouncing around? Why should you be checking? Why should the government be confused? Why? Why? So this is to tell you that we have a problem. And when we get back, we'll get into that problem. And let me say this. This is one of the policies. You see, that the only problem I get with President Trump, instead of making a thing big lady and affecting other people, let criteria be met for the corrupt government, the corrupt institutions. Go after them like this. Then you are instituting a policy that will benefit the world in your country. My only thing is, don't make a blanket. Don't say the whole USA ID is corrupt and we're going to, that's the only problem I get. But why are we giving you election money? Why? And your own election? Why should America be paying for your election? It shows that you are irresponsible. The thing that's supposed to bring you to power, you can't pay for it. Somebody else can pay for it. But when we tell you our tax money pay for you to elect, when we tell you say vote for the person, you tell us, say, well, my our business, you serving nation. Think about it, huh? I mean, Monk, I don't know, maybe me, I'm not making sense. But I want you to think about it, bro.
You are making all the sense in the world, and that's just why it is.
How does this work?
Yeah. What interest is there for someone to teach you how to go and cast your ballot? Then when the people who tell you how to cast the ballot, they do they didn't know. Then what you to be sovereign? Then you cannot make the argument about sovereignty, then find out your own election.
Exactly. You are a sovereign nation. You don't listen to anybody in time for election. You say you're voting for the person that you know, the people that you know, the one that you care about. Okay, fine, great, no problem. But then why are you forcing us to give you our money too so that you can run your election now? In fact, what kind of responsible country sit down and wait for other people to sponsor their own election? What kind of foolishness is that? What kind of foolishness? You see how we're going back to the same begging mentality about how we're funded? When we say the thing you're saying, we disrespect the person, we disrespect that person. Those who are Christian, and the Bible says, lack of knowledge make my people to perish. They need to know some of these facts. Oh, the other money that he talked about, the 15 million about the different project. The 15 million that he talked about the different project. That most of the projects, he said USAID is the second largest donor to the government apart from the World Bank. Can you imagine? So that means the whole government, what he's saying, the whole government is running on donors. People giving us something. But then these same people will have the opportunity to give them credit and to maintain our relationship and show them respect. We bring someone from Europe. You got, I know, Petel or Peli or whatever her name is, come from Europe to kind of lecture you. In Africa, in Liberia. She teaches at a university. Built by the same people that she called colonialists or whatever it is. What kind of hypocrite? Who even sits on the kind of people and listen to them?
Neo-colonialists.
Yeah, the same people that started the neo-colonialism from England, in Europe there. Why should I move to Liberia? Let me tell you something. If she really care about Liberia, she patriotic about the country, she want the symbol, all that foolishness she was talking. Why she not living in Liberia in one of the remote villages? Why she came to white men home to come and learn? Why? Oh, you think she know what time it is? You think she know what's up? She was only saying the show she can get her 10,000 that you'll give her. She wanted to get a small thing to carry back. She can hustle.
And she wanted 10,000 the same neo-colonialists that finance the government operation in Liberia.
Yeah. So the same neo-colonialism people that she was talking about, now the same people that oh man. Y'all see what we're gonna be talking when we say the thing y'all get very well. And y'all see how it's simple. So my people, to my Oma and my papa there, the first thing first is this. It shows that our government is irresponsible. Let me be honest. So the 800 million and all the other things that the finance minister name. How come our people not benefiting from it though? Because I don't see the people benefiting from it. Where's the money going? Raptor Pele or what name it is, whatever her name is, she's not important. She's a joke. She's a joke. I say, imagine somebody like Dylan recruit you to bring you to come be you see what Dylan has serious man, man. Dylan has serious man, man. Dylan can be trusted. Dylan cannot be trusted. He's inconsistent. Dylan recruiting you to come and talk foolishness with confidence. And you can't talk foolishness. But you live in Europe.
Yeah, man, but also we still continuing our newspapers here. We should continue. So
okay.
Thanks to them. Yes.
Oh, thanks to the news crew. Yeah, but so we're continuing the conversation. You know, Monk, let's go into this thing. Let's go into this whole court. Because the minister reported that these courts, first of all, were on halt. But this time around, he said they cut it off. Okay. So that's a serious sign that some of these policies have gone into effect. But let me remind Joseph, you got a video where Joseph Boakai was making fun of the people who were coming from Liberia? You got that video? You got one
the deportees, right?
Yeah, I want to remind you of something. I want to remind you of the last statement he made. And guess what?
Yeah, let me check why you do the talking. Yeah, let me check.
Yes. While you are checking for that video, folks, just as a reminder, it was on the show we told you that President Joseph Boakai is bored. If you even dedicate your toilet, call him, you can dedicate. I'm saying it to you today. If you want to dedicate one toilet, you bang one toilet. Even if that more toilets you get, you put in there, we used to call it Africa Papo, or those zinc there, or you put all the grass in together. Just say you dedicate it to a community toilet. Joseph Boakai can dedicate, call him. He got nothing going on. So a friend of mine that I know very well, we live together in the same state here, Charles Leon, a gospel artist as well, decided that, they will build something in Liberia. Joseph Boakai go dedicate, and get what Joseph Boakai say? Not only that he insulted us who in the diaspora, but he said Trump was coming for them. Well, let me remind Joseph Boakai that Trump is coming for him. Let me remind Joseph Boakai that Trump is coming for him. He didn't see they won't coming. Trump is coming for him and his corrupt group of people. Trump is coming for him. What he said that day, he was talking about himself. He think he was making jokes, but the joke is on him now. The joke is on Joseph Boakai now. 50 million, they say they're taking from them. All of them, they're passing around. You're here hating. You're just talking. You're here hating. I see Jim Banning and all of the serious minded people. I see Senator Jim Banning. That now you know that the people that you're supporting are hearing talking, oh, there's no leadership, the country lack leadership. Oh, you know the country lack leadership? You don't know that when you were supporting Joseph Boakai? Jim Banning? That now you know the country lack leadership? So you are discrediting Joseph Boakai in 1 year. Jim Banning, a sitting senator, said the country lack leadership. That means when you say Joseph Boakai dead bad. That's what Jim Banning said. Jim Banning said Joseph Boakai is not a leader. And we said it here. We told you on numerous occasions. And listen, whether you like us or not, we'll continue to say it. What Jim Banning said. Go listen to the recording. The country lacks leadership. And that's true.
But that's a fair interpretation. That's what he meant.
He said Joseph Boakai is not a leader. Joseph Boakai is a deadband. I'm quoting Jim Banning. And that Jim Banning supported him. If the same people that supported you can be saying that, they're just confirming and affirming what we said. We've said here more than once that Joseph Boakai is not a leader. He can never be, even if Joseph Boakai was young, he is not a leader. We keep saying that you're getting fed. When we talk the way you're getting fed, we say the professional way you're getting fed. We say the radical way you're getting fed. You always get fed anyway. They just say we can't confess. They say we confess.
So my Baptist brother, I get our Deacon video.
Yeah, please.
You ready for me to play it?
Yeah, please put in there.
Okay.
The video man, right?
Put an incompetent and inept president, Joseph Boakai, after 40 years, no experience.
So because you're sitting now conveniently in the state or somewhere enjoying, you think you're enjoying life. I got a message for you. Donald King is dead. If you don't come by to build a country for yourself, it's your business. Because you're sitting now conveniently in the state or somewhere enjoying, you think you're enjoying life. I got a message for you. Donald King is dead.
Okay. Well, Tell Joseph Boakai that Donald Trump has come, 50 million gone, and that just on the surface of Elon Musk and Trump warming up. They haven't even gone into the details yet. So that means potentially there could be other things. But
potentially be up to $200 million in terms of budget support all the program when you put all together.
Exactly. So that just 50 they knock out of it again. But Mark, let me ask you the question. I know we're saying this on a bigger level right now, talking about budget or whatever it is. How do you think these cuts will impact and affect the market women, the pimping boys? Because I heard a man talking about tax and different things. How do you think this will affect the country as a whole?
Well, there are so many ways that will affect the country, especially when you look at the whole thing in totality. That's why some of us will come here, we talk about good governance, that the way in which our budget, the framework of our budget, the way how it's structured, it means you are just inviting poverty. Forget the USAID cut. Just look at your national budget. How in the world you will come over a budget, 732 million, 800 million. When you look at the budget in terms of allocation, the government spent 92% on herself, and she only put less than 8% or little over 8% back into the economy. If you're going to keep that model for the next 1,000 years, you will become poorer every year. Nothing is going to change. So the USAID, like I said, it's just like you having a sore, right? And you want to carry on like you want treatment, and you put Band-Aid on the sore. Okay, USAID, their program is to push. That was the whole idea as to why JFK came up with the USAID program. Anything that's in America's interest around the world, we should help to finance it. That would be to our country interest. But over the time, it been changed from pushing the American interest to certain people who are getting the money. That's why the political observer and some of the analysts said, no, all this so-called aid that's supposed to be going around the world, most of it is living in Washington, D.C. It's not even crossing the American shoreline. So it looked like help, but it's not turning into help like it was intended for anymore. Because it will be feeling malnutrition, things that this program was. That's why even in America, the Trump administration told Marco Rubio, you know what? It's a temporary freeze. We're not cutting USAID, but just review the program, and then we will still finance the good one that push our country's interest, and then we'll cut the other slush fund. That's just why it is. So when you see countries like Liberia crying, the reason being because they were not doing their homework. I don't see any country crying in Africa because these people are doing things that they need to be doing. Typical example, Steve, you talk about the USAID budget. If you give yourself 90% or 92% of the country's entire revenue, you spend it on payroll. I think one time I told Melbourne, we use the same analogy. Melbourne, you run a business because government is nothing but business. Don't let nobody lie to you. The same model businesses use in terms of recruiting talent, in terms of making investment, in terms of collecting revenue and spending, that all government do. Government collect money, they spend, and they invest. That's it. It all depends how much they are investing, how much they're spending. And government was never created to spend on herself. The government job is to collect the revenue through taxes and reinvest it into the economy. That's why you see the government get program, they build roads, they build school, they build running water, they build hospital, they invest in the healthcare, they invest into research and development because they are putting the money back into the people. Government don't put money in rest bag and can't drop it to Melbourne House. No. But when the government make the right investment, Melbourne will take advantage of that. That's how the system is built. But when you have a government that eat more than 90% of the revenue in the form of taxes just on herself, then tell me, my brother, even if we're to be here for the next 1,000 years, how can you make progress with such a business model? And that's why we keep advocating on Sktv and other well-meaningful librarians on various platforms. Invest in the people because that's how the game is supposed to be played. The number one duty of a government is to protect lives and property. That's the utmost responsibility. That's why anywhere in the world you go, in any bureaucracy, the biggest employer will be the military because that's the primary responsibility of the government. Government should be working on tax law, regulation law, incentive, and financial investment, tariff, trade. Those are policies that government should be focusing on. That's why you don't need too many people working in government, because when you put too many people in the government pay the government pay slip will be much bigger because you pay more people. No, the money shouldn't be paid. It's almost like maybe when you get a business and every time you sell, you make $10 profit, you put $9 in the pot. And how will the business grow if you're not investing in the business? You got to reinvest in the business. You got to buy more goods and make more sales and generate more money, and you keep repeating that process over and over until you make yourself better. In the case of Africa, you collect 800 million. When you go look at the budget, recurring expenditure, payroll,
770
yeah,
plus.
90%. Think about that. 90%.
I want to ask you about.
Well, you know,
I remember then you do a simple math. Don't even look at $8 million. Maybe I get you $100. All the $100, you eat $92 and you get all about $8. How that business model work? Who's going to become profitable in the long run? How do you sustain that? They're on payroll.
And that's why they're ejecting. But let me see how this will affect the
in this TV where I want also come with a kind of huge risk back to back out of the increasement. For example, the president office celebration last year budget, it was around 24,498 cents. But the 2025 budget increased to 592,556 cents. What? I'm not sure. I say 100% increasement or what?
Well, let me put it in context in the simplest form how it will affect the common people. For example, your children's school fee will increase. Let me say it to you. When you go buy something on the market now, the price will increase. The thing you used to buy for $2 for $5, they might be selling it for $10 now, or $1 for $5. Let me tell you it now. The taxes that they're talking about, they will increase the tax on you. So if your tax, those of you who pay taxes, if your tax used to be $50, it will maybe go to $51, $52. You don't do nothing for it to increase. It's just because the BB boarding got to continue to make the money. Oh, it could even affect the cell phone companies. Your data and your internet could be affected. Let me tell you today. Don't be surprised. You see, we got to talk about it in the simpler form so that you can understand it. If you never used to pay for both voter registration ID now, maybe you will start paying for it now. Don't get it. You get it. Because the money there that they may not making, they will have to find a way to make it, and they will make it from you. But here's something dangerous though. Here's something very, very dangerous. And I have to say it. If Josiah Human Boaka and the United Party people do not handle this thing with caution and they put the pressure on the Liberian people, this could be a turning point. It's one thing for us to come on the line and talk political talk. It's another thing for the people to start feeling the pinch of this thing. Because then the people will say enough is enough. If you get somebody who already struggling to pay their child school fee and you go and increase that child school fee to the point where they can't even think about it, that frustration alone could lead people to get in the street, or they could ask this government to step. I'm saying it because I want the government to be fully aware that they got to. There's a time now Josiah Human Boaka must use his leadership, 40 years experience, and not time to fool around. And enough is enough. You're not coming for nothing suffering on our people. So the government needs to get serious. The government needs to take the thing seriously. It's not a joking matter. It's not a fun thing. It's something that could cause some serious problem in the country. It is. It is. So they need to start finding.
Can I come here a little bit before? Go ahead, I'm sorry. I'll tell you.
Yes, I want to ask Steve this question because maybe the people, even some of our old folks and so forth, they don't want to know as to maybe what are you or what do you think would be one of the best way if you were to suggest, because the waste in government is just too much, and which of course our people they can easily bear, because one of the lawmakers I think they are entitled to maybe about 15% that they need to, or maybe that's supposed to be on their payroll, for example, their cook. So what are some of the plans that you think that will make some of these things to get better quickly before we go to Monk?
Well, the first thing first, to show empathy, to show sympathy, leadership, in some sense of seriousness is, I'm not saying Joseph Boaka should announce any cut. I'm saying the cuts must happen. Joseph Boaka announced that people were suspended for not paying, for not providing their what they call, right?
Yes, for not going by the assets declaration.
And guess what? Those people are working. So that's what I'm talking about. Joseph Boakai needs to, if you need to start from him, all that party celebration foolishness, you need to cut it off. All the party in that party for 40 years or 80 years of his age, he not need no more party again. So that celebration money, that 24,000 or whatever it is, you need to give it back to the Liberian people.
500,000, according to information.
All that traveling around, getting on private jet, whatever it is, you need to sit down and rest his body. He need to say that all the trip he's been doing. I'm saying it, I want to say it the wrong way. And I'm saying it the way I want to say it. Me, I'm saying it the way I know how to say it so my people can hear me. Joseph Boakai need to sit down one place and start traveling so they can cut all the traveling expenses. He need to sit down. We got age now, we're in the technology. Unless it's guaranteed that he going there to bring money, he no go sit down. He been passing around for no reason and not benefiting on private jet and just going to the other place jumping around for no reason. No hay, no tail when he go there and disgrace us. He thought things that don't even make sense. They asking about electricity. He there spending almost 30 minutes thanking people. Thanking the other person, thanking the other person. My friend, I need a question, get to the question. So you need to cut that one off. We finish with Joseph Boakai on. Even his salary needs to be slashed into 2 or into half. Joseph Boakai not get a new baby. Joseph Boakai not get new children, whatever it is. He needs to slash his salary into half. He needs to show some leadership and serious. It needs to start from him. Let the people see that he's a serious-minded man. Again, I'm not talking about the minister or whoever he is yet. I'm not talking about that. The reason I'm saying this is this. When we started the whole asset declaration, and we had a big drum behind Joseph Boakai and Jeremiah Kumia for them to declare the asset, we may not be able to declare the assets. And even declaring assets, he went under the cover to declare assets. Yes, it happened. So leadership needs to start from him. I'm not here to say, oh, the president needs to don't want to be passing around on the different network, looking for work, looking for a job, or looking for favor. I don't get time for that foolishness. I say as it is. Joseph Boakai needs to get serious. Because this is a serious situation. It requires leadership. It requires immediate attention, and something must be done. I think what young can learn passing around, she think this is a joke. She ain't ready yet. She think this is a joke, eh? She really think this is a joke. She thinks this is a joke. Young can learn need to cut her salary down. All that gas and generator money that I getting or whatever it is, it needs to be slashed. It needs to be cut down and stop. Normally can learn one generator. She won't buy fuel for a generator, and I see car and lubricant. What kind of foolish country we have that we gave you car, then we turn around again, we are responsible for the car to put lubricant and fuel. What kind of, who are we? What kind of human being we are?
Yeah.
We gave you car, we pay good money for the car. Then we got to lubricant the other one, the other one. Where? Who? And what kind of work you're doing to pass around and go come again to come sit down and corrupt and steal the same money again? And then we pay you to come and steal from us? How are we living, man? I'm talking about the other one apart the reserve, what do you mean? Reserve speaker. The reserve speaker. Well, all kind of stupid thing. The budget.
Right, so that's yeah.
When they were asking some of the economists and some of the financial experts in Liberia a couple of days ago about the impact of have, the one that government pissed this guy. That's why I tell you, maybe you always study history. When you study history, when you learn the lesson of history, you won't repeat the mistake. The same thing that happened to Joseph Boakai happened in the previous government. You can remember when the Weah government just came to power, when the things were tough and the economy when Samuel 12 were giving all the excuses how because the NGO pulled out of Liberia, Unmeal was contributing a very huge portion when it comes to spending in the economy. So when you take Unmeal, so I asked this question, I said, okay, you are telling me as a newly formed government that you were looking at Unmeal. Unmeal, they are there temporarily, they're not there forever. So you are telling me we knew that one day the war was going to come to an end. We knew that we were going to transition from Unmeal to our own security. So that cannot be an excuse. It cannot be an excuse. Let me give you one instance. There is a guy, I don't like calling name. They call Lester Tenney, who claimed he got PhD in economics. You know what that guy wrote on Facebook? That people in the diaspora, we don't pay direct taxes, so we shouldn't be talking when it comes to taxes in Liberia. And he was one of those saying that this is going to impact the Liberian economy, most especially people from the diaspora. I say, oh, but just a couple of years ago when CDC were in power, you were the same one. I took a screenshot of that guy comment. I will never forget it, because the comment that I made when he made that crazy statement, I said, you might as well take your degree by and ask for a refund. Because if you are looking at 1/3 of the GDP of Liberia coming from remittances, and you are telling me that people in the diaspora are not paying taxes in Liberia, then I don't know how you got your degree, because you need to take it back and ask that university for a refund. And he was the one 72 hours ago talking about the impact. Maybe let me tell you the solution in Liberia. The solution about Liberia is not about USAID cut. It's just about priority, spending priority. The last time I brought an article here, we show it to our people here. Why do you think Ghana reduced our ministries from 30 to 23? Because they went and reassessed the whole government function. There are certain institutions in this day and age, they are useless. They don't have any value other than taking money. And you know one thing taxpayer don't understand? The more people the government employ, the more they take from your pocket. So, because it's not a government job to create jobs. The government job is to create conditions that leads to job creation. But people always get it twisted. Government was never meant to hire. Government need to come up with good regulatory policy, good tax policy, stronger or how they call it, a judiciary system that can give investor confidence. That's the job of a government. But when government start taking the role of being the temp agency and hiring people, you know who's going to pay the consequences? The taxpayer. Because all the government can do is they tax you, they either spend or they make investment. So every time the government hire, they are only taking more money from you and making you poorer. In your mind, you think they are creating jobs. No, that's not the role of government. When you limit the size of government, when you focus on the government role, then it means the less the government can spend on herself, the more money come back to the people. That's just how the game is played. So I can see myself laughing at people who believe that just because you got more workers in the government, you mean that the country. No, you are the one who pay those workers. And what happened? Whenever the government pay themselves, you get less. You the one will be left at the short end of the stick. So I can be confused when people get it in twisted leg. That's why we say, you know what? Limit the size of government. Cut down those. Look, maybe one example, when they were doing the assessment, how you think they came up with the harmonization process? You know why they came out with the harmonization process? Because under the Madam Sadi government, we have almost like 45,000 employees on government payroll, right? Across the entire government. When the CDC-led government came to power, their number one priority was to hire other partisans. They bloated the government payroll. Now, when it came time to pay the worker, the government wage bill couldn't cover the additional employee they added on the government payroll. So the only thing they thought about, let's go to people that are already in the government taking pay, let's cut their salary because you have, I want to call digging hole to cover hole. So you are making other people poorer just because you want to hire a partisan. And that's what people don't understand. The bigger the government grows, the worse it becomes for the ordinary taxpayer, because the money that is going to be spending on you, on your roads, on your bridges, on your hospital, on the medication, to the various medical facility, you are the one that will pay the price. So whenever the government hire anyone, you should get versed. The role of the government is to reduce our operating costs so they can be left with more money to spend back on you or in the economy. And that's where the problem is when it comes to government hiring. It's so sad, but that's what for you.
Steve, maybe you want to chip in. If they have issues, I think also when you go back into the budget, you will see that the budget allocation, I think, for health or for medication is somewhere around $1 million. So let's assume that the 51 million have been cut off, because I know most of our officials, especially even the government, they will not want to maybe take away their money, but they prefer to take the money that coming from development. So, like for example, if it's around 100 million being placed there for development, it was okay. Even the budget shortfall will be affecting development. That would be maybe road connectivity and so on. What say you when it comes to our health issues with all of these situations now that you say are cut off their helping or their support?
Well, Le Monde can always say, there's again, the reason why you can always get a recasting the budget or budget shortfall is because so even before they pass the budget, they'll make sure they take pay first.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, that's why they only give the people 8%, and the other 96 or 98 or 92, that's what they have. And this is pure stealing and robbery from the people. Imagine You Melbourne, you minister, or you in the House of Representative, or you senator, or whatever it is, or you some kind of government person. The person that cooking food for you, your cook is taking pay on the government. How many food you can eat? And who responsible to pay somebody that cooking for you? Which country does that? I mean, where we doing that? Somebody that cooking for you in your house. You getting paid. We paying you to go put that budget together to steal. So at the end of the day, what the men plan is the reason you see them jittering. The reason you see them jittering is because all of the allocation, all the small money they're not push here and there. It will be problem for them to get it. It will be problem for them to get the full amount because they already have their own plan. So now they're looking at it. They think here is a setback. That's why you see them jittering. And this is a problem. And we need to come to terms with this. And I'm saying it to the Liberian people because at the end of the day, this whole thing here will come down to the Liberian people will be left in their hands. They can take it however they want to take it. But either way you put it, at the end of the day, the victims here are the Liberian people. And I can say this, the Liberian people, if they don't take a stand, they don't step up. They don't stand up against Joseph Boakai. They might demand Joseph Boakai to cut all that foolish thing that they get around the budget and all those. They might cut it now. They might not even wait. They might demand Joseph Boakai to do it. Let Joseph Boakai be the first person they demand to do that. I say other people, when Joseph Boakai does that, the first person, guess what's going to happen? The rest of the people will fall in line. Because that's leadership. So let them ask Joseph Boakai, or he jumping around, passing different around, private jet, all they want. No, it's not going to happen. Let the Liberian people stand up for that. That's all me encouraging them to do.
Thank you, Steve. Quickly before we welcome Mr. Connor, even though sometimes we're always hearing that they're a little caught, but the government are not even giving us update. Like sometimes the CSA boss will always do that. For example, if they're 50% maybe out of the government payroll, the CSA boss will come out and inform us that out of that 50%, maybe the government save 500,000 or 50. Well, government not even inform us. In fact, they're not even informing us, and I don't know why. But again, that's the kind of society that we live in, where government feel are communicating with our people. Maybe they see it as taboo. But Mr. Connor, welcome. Quickly before we go to the lines, you just chip in and I like that. That's great. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, well, man, I promised yesterday that I was going to be on full time today, but something happened. By the time I wake up, I say, you know what, let me go join the show. Then something emergency, came up, so I couldn't really join right away. But it's good to be here. I've been listening to some of the conversations. But yes, it's good to be here. I don't mind listening to calls because you guys have said everything, with Mon and Steve on. I know, you guys already have exhausted everything. So I'm here to listen. Maybe after the callers, I'll have something to say. So let's give them ample time to call.
Thank you so much. The bread and butter issue, we're going to continue with that. I know whenever you come, you always want to see the livelihood of your people getting better. So 0770-203125, that's the number to call. To this caller, good evening.
Good evening, Melbourne, and let me say good evening to the rest of the panelists. This is David King, and I do join you from my friend with the rest of it. I don't know, Melbourne, why this government or Liberia being the only country to be yelling all over the place. Their room is jam-packed. Africa is being hit. And the worst of all, South Africa, you and I know what Trump has been seeing to South Africa. The South African, they had the highest number of HIV victims in our country. And they've been supported highly by America. But if you are not yelling all over the place, somebody had told you the $1 million for you, they say they're not giving you the $1 million. You all over the place yelling, you don't need to yell. All the $45,000 car, the $60,000 car they buy for minister, they need to reduce it now to used car. They don't go to the used car garage and start buying some of those looking used car instead of taking $60,000, $75,000 buying car for one minister or one director. So Joe Boakai, like Steve said, he should cut down on his budget. You got team budget, you got how they call it, give and who Joseph Boakai giving the country? Who have you heard one day that Joseph Boakai sent somebody to school here to enter the university around here or even out of the country? I've never heard that. So no one need to be yelling. They need to cut down on a salary. The lawmaker, I understand a year lawmaker cook made 60,000 now. You killing me? You killing me? Why you middle guy? Why you give cook 60,000 per year?
All right. Thank you so much. Now 1 minute, please. Today's caller, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. My name is Dr. Johnson Healy. And I call from Lower Mandible, Marshall City.
Thank you for joining us, Dad.
Thank you. I enjoyed the show and thanks for the contribution. I want to agree with more. I think our country would need a 360 turnaround. Every facet of our society would need the government to take the lead. I think this time it's not about talking, it's about action. It's about bringing the right people on the table so that we can really shape the future of the country. As we see it now, we are going backward every day, every second. So I agree with you guys. We need a 360 turnaround, and that starts with the presidency so that we can move the country forward. Thank you so much for the conversation.
Thank you so much. 0770-203125. That's the number to call again. 0770-203125. Call in and be part of the SKTV show this evening. Today is Tuesday, having to be the 25th of February. For a matter of fact, we're going to be with you up to 8 o'clock on tonight. So again, 0770-203125. That's the number. Let me move to the line. And Charles Cooper, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Mabel.
Yeah, go ahead, my brother.
Mabel, I'm Charles Cooper. I call for Calvi Duboro. Mabel, our government is either politically stubborn or evil-minded. Because maybe we have said these things, we have made recommendations, and our national leaders know the problem of this country. But because they are benefiting from the corrupt system, they don't want to face it. Not that they don't have the means of facing it, but they are doing it intentionally. And maybe people who do intentional living, you cannot change them. So that's why we have just become a bigger talking tone in the world. Maybe how will you be paying a representative or a senator? They may already taking huge salary. Then you must pay a cook, pay a driver, pay a security. Why can't you pay his driver for the own salary he's making? But the government will pay them. That's why we have said, maybe let us set a ceiling that no representative minister make more than $5,000 in this country. Maybe in the economy, if you make $5,000, you have money and you know how to manage, you can live a very flamboyant life if you know how to manage your money. Then let's set a payment when it comes to buying vehicle for government. Nobody ride more than $20,000 to $25,000 car. And the president should not ride the president, the B6, according to the president, vice president, the pro tem, the speaker, deputy speaker, and the chief justice. They should not ride a car that costs more than $50,000. And they should be able to manage it for 5 to 6 years.
All right, thank you so much. To this caller, good evening.
Yes, good evening, sir. My name is Mark. I'm calling for Division 2 and Fashion.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes, you see, thank you for the discussion ongoing. I very much admire this discussion because one thing I want to tell the Liberian government is that I'm very much happy of Donald Trump what he did because our Liberian government deserve good. Because they said that one person any money per month, lawmaker any 40,000 car, what they say they are squaring around here for help. They are not helping the citizens. I'm very much happy of Donald Trump. If Lima was Donald Trump to cut out all activities done for this Liberia because people have now the country money developing a choice in the country, better education, but we we're suffering. So I'm very much happy. This is what I'm going to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Keep your calls coming. 0770-203125. Liberians or those people who are directly go through some of the things. They are speaking out. Hello, today's caller. Good evening.
Good evening, neighbor.
Yes, go ahead.
My name is P.I.C.K. and I'm translated to district number 2. My attention has been due to the issue of our government official law because some will begin 200 plus thousand. Therefore, how can other people help us when we have our government official making 200,000? Nobody can do that if somebody had even $500 and then you making more than $500 in your country. So what I want to say to we is that because the same way we did it yesterday against the tax government, we reduce the protest, we need to stand up against these people. If we don't do so, our country will go through a lot of really common people will suffer from the people here. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. To this caller, good evening. Hello.
Mabel.
Yes, my dear. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead, your name.
I'm Saki Kakla calling from Rehab. Yeah, I got a question for one of the panelists saying that we are I'm not post to pay partisans. Well, I asking what are the partisans? What are Nigerians? They are foreigners or what? Then you have a question for me, please.
All right, thank you. You want to respond to this caller? Go evening. Yep.
I told you from Grand Bazaar.
Yeah, thank you, my brother from Grand Bazaar. I've been a little while now, but go ahead.
Yeah, I feel that just joining from Grand Bazaar. The owner of the senator, I get fine Grand Bazaar. That's on that field.
Okay.
That's on that field. But all the other people, they get one cocoa pie, they get one raw tree, say yeah. So we thank God for that's on that field. They're not doing well yet. But all the other people, we getting nothing from them. So thank you.
Thank you so much. To this caller, good evening. Hello.
How are you, my brother?
Well, I'm okay. Thank God for life. Go ahead.
Yes, I joined you from 540. Come on town. My name is Daniwadi P. Yes, but you see what is not happening now? The brother now is in worry. They are in worry because of how they misusing our money. Huge amount of money you got in the country, but people be misusing it. Not because of this government, not only this government here, but every person has been misusing our money in that kind of way. What kind of way people getting their own pay here? Which country you see that people go and sell their own pay? This is the amount we want to be making here. The legislature, and that they didn't want to create their own salary. Why should that be happening in the blood here? See how expensive with me. When somebody travel from here to go to China, they have to care for 50 some more pricing. What is that? What are they going to do? These are the fanatic we spending money that we can develop this country here now. Yeah, it is now that users is going on. What are we doing? These people are worrying us. It should be worrying us, but because we bad to ourselves, they are worrying us.
All right.
I'm doing this. Wow, so one person make huge amount of money. That's a lot of money that's there.
All right, my brother. I get your message. Hello, to this caller.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. And now you say, myself, I want to share tears. Go ahead.
Now, I'm listening to changing mind and changing attitude conversation they had with the former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. When they talk about this USAID project going down, she suggested that this is time that LRA collect the taxes. We have so many people that have fabulous businesses building in these countries, and they don't pay taxes. If they pay taxes, we will have enough money in this country to run this country. So that suggestion Ellen Johnson made, let the government listen to it and implement it. Let LRA work and collect taxes from these people. They are senators, representatives. They are fabulous.
But the people have been collecting taxes, though. Even the 800+ million is not small money. But it's just that the usage of the money, that what matters and what people are talking about.
Yeah, I understand that. But I'm telling you, I know, like Kakata, I was living there before. Tax collectors go to places, they give them small money and they leave. They don't collect taxes. I'm telling you the truth.
Okay, thank you so much, my dear brother. Thank you. The man no concern about collecting the taxes, but you don't want to know where after collecting the taxes, where the money will go. Keep a call coming 07702032125. That's the number to call. Hello, today's caller. Good evening.
Good evening. This is Martha Mellis from Kenya.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes, I listened to the show and all of the comments that were there, especially from Steve. You know, to say something and to do something are two different things because we the voters, we've been listening from group to group and you people are feeling it from regime to regime. So right now they did Joseph Pointer or the regime that passed, they were not doing anything good. We asked them to run campaigns so they can win too and come and
make a best suggestion so that we can move on the foundation. Because everything that we said, it was an opposition and negative.
So
maybe we don't know what we own, we're stupid. So he can come and he was saying other people were fucking stupid things. You can come and make a plan, implementing our plan is another thing. So yeah, they come from America, so they think he wanted for that lady to come from London, so they can help the government.
So can I ask you a question quickly before you go?
Yes.
So your only maybe obligation is just about voting for people or what?
No, that's what I'm saying. When we vote, because some of these people we don't know, and some of them we know, but human beings, your charter when you go, their attitude can change. What you don't expect of them, they can do. So the way you're in America, then when the next election kind of fiscal, so you can work for the people on the ground, and you can run the country.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you so much. Maybe you want to go personal now. So today's call,
but you didn't get it first. That's what you were trying to say in the beginning, but you didn't pick it up.
Yeah, I get up some more. Yes, hello, go ahead.
But you say, I thank God, you say the monarchy is father to the government. They get the money in Gantier. I don't get them kind of money they men spend. The Gafan is can't say will pray. You will pray for what you want to pray, then they eat the money. Then we go shopping. Then what kind of pray will pray for y'all? We pray. The pocket is down. What kind of thing we can see is that stealing money. When then they look at the speaker of the money, 5.5 million for God, they one person shopping this country. Then they say, you say, me and thank God, you say, money get Canada. They will not go to it. They money thing and then we the one and all. They pour shopping up. That because of them men who say, we are not good. What for them men? They men who are getting well money for the time, netting, how the world looking at how we looking in this country. Why they have so much that the God will pay there? Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll take second to the last caller, and of course, we want to give our panel a little time. Yeah, hello, good evening.
Good evening, neighbor, and good evening to your panelists.
Yeah, go ahead.
Me, I'm so grateful to God. It's time to get testimony because when you pray to God, when God answer the prayer, you can go and get testimony. So let me get testimony today on Sktv. In the past year, there were people who went and paid some money to America to session abroad, to black abroad, to black live abroad, to stop all support from coming. So now my God, I'm going to pray small by you say stopping that support. I know that they're going to be using you and other partners. We tell God, thank you. That God, whatever the year, now God is a living God. If God can hear people that are waste now, and who confess publicly that they spend 180,000 just to get lobbyists to blacklist government. Oh, we tell God, thank you that the prayer is being answered and you say and start. I know after you say, other partner will come in and stop that support. Praise, hallelujah.
Yeah, man, your man, he need a problem. We'll take one more call, of course. I just want to be all loud today with my sister. You want me? Yeah, when people don't want to talk. Yeah, hello, today's caller, good evening. Yeah, good evening. Yeah, go ahead quickly. I'm not getting you though, caller. We're not getting you too clear though. I'm not getting you too clear. So Pascal Davis will be our last caller quickly. Yeah, Pascal, go ahead quickly, please.
Yes, maybe it is a privilege. So let me say thanks. And to Mom and the rest of the team, you people don't necessarily have to come here. You can remain in America and make a decision there. And that's what you've been doing. And your criticism is necessary because it's meant to give direction. And so our people here, they're very stubborn. So the decision they made in 2023, it was a purposeful decision. It was a decision that they calculated very well. So it was not that they didn't know where they were voting. They knew. With all the things we said, they said even if the woman is there, they're in the castle, they're going to vote. So it was a decision that they calculated to make. So it was not, a decision that was just from the blue moon or from the sky. It was something you people plan to do. And see what is happening now. I know somebody asking what to pray. Pray for what? God has his own way of fighting back. You were looking for central Liberia. You were wanting people to stop their support to the country, to the government, but they want to join here. So then we are not praying. And you see what is happening. You say, and saying, no, we will not get support. We know there are a lot of things that will happen. The unfortunate thing is that all of us will be captured into your web, unfortunately. Some of us who thought that we could make that decision to change the lives of the people. It didn't go our way and see where we are. And somebody's wanting to blame Moya or your here and can't have it go. No.
All right. Let me go to my uncle quickly. Uncle Brantate, no time, but let me just put you through because you're one of the other person on the show. Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Yes. Only 30 seconds, you know, there's a question that more ice, and I want to amplify it. You got a budget of 880 million, and somebody withdraw 51 million, then you get up.
That would be problem.
Yeah, because if you take all the recurring expenses, all the kind of thing, out of that 51 million, you still got money. You can't reapportion it.
All right.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. So you move through Asadu Mesa, your sister say you're more down. All of you finish your free wallow. Your sister the country is just oh God. Yeah, Mark and that Mr. Karen Steve, I think we're back after listening to our people, Mark. I think someone asked you a question. I don't know whether you want to respond as to what are those that were maybe appointed, quote unquote, or that were given a position in a previous government as to whether they were non-Liberians. And maybe you want to respond to that question.
Well, I'll respond to that question. You see, in our politics, it's always about you must take side between these two parties, Unity Party and CDC. Even when the history is there to prove, they still want to pick a side. The reason I made reference to that about the harmonization, they are Liberian. The question is, were they supposed to be in those positions? Was it necessary, or we just added more people? Okay, let me give you the example of Melbourne. Let's say the government had 45,000 employees, and 70% of the government employees were making 150 per month, and that 150 they couldn't even take care of their living expense. If you hire additional 15,000 that is not even needed in the first place, and you reduce people's salary, they're not already doing better from $150 to $100. How are you helping the 15,000? You're just creating two groups of poor people. Even though it looks like you are giving them job, but they are still in poverty because the people who were there before, their income couldn't even meet their monthly expense. Now you increase the government hiring by hiring additional 15,000 only to reduce the people who are already struggling salary to pay for 15,000. How is that considered a help? But he didn't understand the economy, but he didn't have CDC for the Unity Party argument about making that how he came with that attack. So I understood the nature of his response. I knew exactly that's where you were heading at. So I didn't want to answer that question, but anyway, saying you asked me, let me take my time to talk about it. But
yeah, then what happened to one of our sisters among all of the 100 colors? Yeah, quickly, Steve. Among all the 100 colors, I just want to just remind you, among all the 100 colors, she said you put your count down also, and maybe you want to close on that.
Let me say that because I can say I stand with what I said. The Pele woman or whatever her name is, Patel, whatever her name is. First of all, she got a foreign name anyway. So you criticize a foreigner, you got a foreign name. Not to tell you that she's a joke. The joke is on her. I say it. She is not a serious-minded woman. She's a hypocrite. The woman who spoke, the orator who spoke at the last July 26th that criticized the United States government, she's a hypocrite. She lives in Europe. And that my other sister who called. You know, I feel sorry for her. I'm very, very sorry for her. But everybody will not be open-minded. Everybody will not be willing to stand for what is right. That's what she's used to. I'm sorry for her. But my sister, don't worry. Not only that will come from the United States to continue to inform you and educate you, but your suffering will increase before we can come. Because you're not serious. You're not serious. You don't want to do what is right. No, you don't. You're not interested in doing what is right. You're interested in making excuses and attacking other people who even stand out to tell you the truth. So I'm not worried about you. But before we come, I hope your suffering, you will still be alive for us to come. Because you will suffer. You're not worried about your children if you have some. You are not worried about the ordinary kids that are suffering. You're not worried about that. For you to call on the show as a woman, you who's supposed to be your mother and stand up and say, yeah, I think the thing what the men talking about it makes sense. Let Joseph Boga call his pay. Let the other people then call the pay. Let the other people then invest it in this place so we can start suffering. No, that's a discussion. You're interested in coming to kind of be sarcastic. You think you're funny? The joke is on you. I say it to you. I don't know who you are, but I say the joke is on you. And you are one of the problems. You are one of the people who will always do what is wrong and come and defend it. So I'm not worried about you. But to the Liberian people, Let me say this. The place we are now. If you think Donald Trump and Elon Musk are going to fool around and give you free more money, you're wasting your time. It's not going to work. And for that, I support Donald Trump and Elon Musk going after any country that is corrupt, where there is corruption. I support them. Enough is enough. This is time now for Joseph Boakai to demonstrate leadership. Let me say this. In terms of crisis, that when you know leadership, you know that when leadership is demonstrated, you think I come and tell you've been in government for 42 years, you've been in government for 40. You think I won't listen to that jab? You think I won't listen to that joke? Demonstrate leadership. Let's see. I want openly challenge Joseph Boakai on the show. I'm not talking to nobody. The Yomli Kanga Lawrence, the Jeremiah Kuo, the whoever it is, all of them look up to Joseph Boakai. Joseph Boakai is the head of the nation. I want to openly challenge Joseph Boakai on the show. Let him demonstrate leadership. I'm a call to him. I want to openly call on him and challenge him for once in his life. Let him demonstrate leadership and take some responsibilities. Let him show. I think I go tell people to call the salary. I'm not interested in that because a lot of things he now say it doesn't come to fruition. He's been lying. But I want him to demonstrate leadership. Let him show it. Let him call his pay. And let it be reflected. Let it show. Let good news show for once in your life. Let him show some sense of responsibility in your life. I want to encourage him to do that. Now, my only thing I got to say to Joseph Boakai, I'm not talking about the other people, because when Joseph Boakai go ahead and do that, you know what happened? The other people will fall in line. The other people will see leadership and will say, yeah, we need to follow the papi. The papi did it one, the papi did that one. I don't want no sweet talk from him. I don't want no press conference from him. I don't want nothing from him. I want him to demonstrate it. He might not even talk like that way. Then let us see the action that he's doing and let other people and follow it. That's my only thing I got to say. Joseph Boakai demonstrate leadership now. That's all I'm saying. That's all I got to say. And I got nothing else to say.
Maybe I want to respond to that lady, right? That lady that called, she tried to be sarcastic. That's why she said people should come from overseas. It's the kind of a mentality. Let me tell you something. If we study Liberian culture in our society, we got sectarian kind of a mindset. Everything should be sliced and diced if you really observe. Let me tell you something, Mabel. It took me a while when I came to this country. I said, you know what? Now I understand the people who they label to be American Liberian or the so-called Congo people, because I work Congo, it came from Congo Basin anyway. The people, you know what? Let me tell you something, Mabel. Your environment will have more impact on you than your genetics. You know the reason why things were over there, even though it was not perfect, but it was still better than 40 years ago? Let me tell you something, Mabel. When you live in a society with structure, you will become structured in your approach. So even though they brought them from Africa or they were slaves, but you know what? They were living in an industrial society that was having structure in place. So they copy exactly what they saw here and took back over there. That's why in this country, when you come from Liberia, when you come here, the reason people say, oh, the people in the diaspora were calling confused. I said, no, the people in the diaspora, we are not your enemies, we are allies. The only difference is there were things that you accepted in life in Liberia that when you come to a different society and see how people live, you will say, we've been making mistakes in that country for a long time. We got to go and change some of the things that we keep doing over there that we believe is normal, because you in travel, you don't know what's going around the world. So when you're in Liberia, you think that the way you live, the way you do things, you think it's normal until you go to other advanced countries. That's when you get to know that you got to be working on time, you need benefit, you need healthcare, you need better roads, because what? You have lived in a society that gave you those, those kind of advantages or immunity. You want to take it back home. But in their mind, that's why I keep telling my diaspora for that. Only two people I advocate for on this show every time, if you can pay attention. Young people and people in the diaspora, because I know if things cannot go well in Liberia, the diaspora will be the one to continue to pay the price. And don't mind, we pay taxes here. And then you must squeeze out of your income to send money back home. So you are paying double. Anytime the system fails in Liberia, the diaspora will keep paying double and triple the price, because certain responsibility is placed on you, your family, your relatives, your friends, your former classmates. People will call you randomly because things not going on back there. So anytime the system is failing in Liberia, guess who will carry the brunt of the burden? People in the diaspora. And that's where the problem is always coming from. But the locals over there, don't be fooled that we are on the same page. They believe anything that we do in the diaspora, they will do the opposite, because they believe that we are enemies, that we are not allies. Even though we are advocating for them, they see it from a whole different angle. That's why in an election, whenever the diaspora support one candidate, they will always do the opposite, because in their mind, we are the problem. And that's exactly what she called to confirm. The president even did the same thing when people have been deported. Deportation is nothing new. People will come up and get deported. But a real leader won't address that situation in such a manner. You saw what happened in Guinea. The president went to the airport with his own jet to go meet his people. Joseph Boga, they're talking about Donald Trump coming for you because he himself, he subscribed to that same troublist and that divisive mindset. That's why you see most of them can call with frustration talking about, you can calm down. You can't do it. Okay, no, we don't got to be there. You can do it yourself.
Well, Mark, yeah, thank you. And I know that as time go by, we will continue to respond to okay, some of them we got to go. But quickly, in passing, let me just say this to even all of them that are always saying they're going to, maybe sometimes they don't even know exactly that some of you calm down, especially time for your projects. Some of you calm down, time for elections. Most of you, in fact, you even voted during they're going elections. So all of the talking, calm down, like coming down here is a crime, or maybe people not able, or maybe people are not, or maybe connected, or maybe they are afraid, maybe to come down to their own country. No. So the kind of perception for me, I just want to erase some of these things. When we come here for us, we're not coming to come discuss political party because some of you feel that the only thing of your life is just to vote for people to get rich. But for some of us, we say no. We're not only here to just be voting and just be talking about elections for people to be getting rich. We're also talking about these people that you voted for to do the right thing. That's why we always here to talk, and to talk. So thanks to all of you. We got to go. We almost on the
Don't worry about the grace of God. Thank you so much. Tomorrow, a lot of different topics, a lot of things happening today. They also represented, quote unquote, they voted in new people to send to ECOWAS. What people are
I know but, we got the ECOWAS though, because if I say ECOWAS, I came here that they respected. But anyway.
That story, man. That story that they just making themselves FIFA and they just want to continue the noise. And guess what? At the end of the day, guess who's going to feed it? Now Joseph Boga and the government, and he initiated the noise.
It's President Joseph
Boga.
Yeah, but if the government goes well,
but don't forget too, that one when the ECOWAS came, they never took a side. They say you're going anyway. ECOWAS got their sovereignty law. So those guys over there, those jokers, that your new regime, they know exactly what they are dependent. They want to play the politics because at the end of the day, maybe ECOWAS will say anything that comes from the so-called plenary and like brother, what will go back because we got certain laws too that govern the ECOWAS parliament. So don't rush to conclusion. You get see how we end up.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you. And let me say thanks to all of our viewers and our listeners. Yes, indeed. Thanks to all of you. So, folks, indeed, good night from our end here on the SKTV show. Join us. That will be on tomorrow, the same time and the same station. I'm John C. Bankula. I catch you when I catch you. That will be on tomorrow by the grace of the Almighty God.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We touch it for podcast and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Qualified people who willing to serve. Blessing that time and that effort are rest. The brothers giving us here and the promise of them. The welcome and life without again.
I lyrical
Master.
Clay Paris, who make you, I can't ask it if you been you. Say my journey, Tina get I say my jamo. And you say no money, and more I go. And you love
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grandbaza.
And I Guinea, ya to money. And I Sanya, ya to money. And I Conakry, ya to money. And I Codubois, ya to money. And I Guinea, ya to money. And I Sanya, ya to money. And I Conakry, ya to money. And I Codubois, ya to money. And I Pagayari, ya to money. That's the baby. And I Pagayari, toss you walk on my, ya to money. Yeah.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa. Sktv, the best in Mama Liberia. Must hold by the lofa and grandbaza.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We talking for podcast and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. Qualified people who willing to serve. The flesh, that time and the efforts are rest. The broadcast we giving a real and the promise my best. The world with my life without fear. From Grandpa's and Nima to Lufa, from Riverside to Raji to Chide, from Grand Crew, Bombing, Kidman, Monserrat, San to Bacalu, from Maryland, Bonkan to the Maggie B. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB. We the best in the land, yeah, LIB.
Sktv, the best in Liberia. Sktv, the best in Africa.